The text glowed on my phone like a live grenade. I miss your laugh. Ah. James stared at it, his face a mask of quiet fury. 2 years too late, the past had clawed its way back. It began with a drought. Not of rain, but of touch. James and I had become ghosts in our own home, passing each other in the hallway of our Atlanta suburb, his eyes glued to spreadsheets, mine to the hollow silence. Our daughter Lily was 6 then, her laughter the only glue holding us. Roberts moved in next door in July. He was everything James had forgotten to be, a widowed single father who baked banana bread, played fetch with his golden retriever, and noticed things. Like the way I bit my lip when nervous, or how I would linger too long at the mailbox. "You're Helen, right?" he had said one morning, leaning over the hydrangeas dividing our yards. His shirt clung to his chest, sweat gleaming in the Georgian sun. "Your roses are dying. Let me help." I should have said no. But his hands brushed mine as he handed me gardening shears, and for the first time in years, I felt seen. The affair started slowly, a shared coffee, a touch that lingered. By September, we were in his bed, the scent of his cinnamon candles mixing with guilt and adrenaline. He traced the scar on my hip from Lily's C-section, a place James hadn't kissed in years. "You're extraordinary," he whispered. I almost believed him. But Roberts wanted more. "Leave him," he had urged, his mouth hot against my neck. I never did. Instead, I found others, a bartender named Cole, a divorced PTA dad, each encounter a temporary salve for the loneliness. Then, one night I stopped. Lily found Robert's scarf in my car. Her tiny hands held it up, innocent. "Is this Daddy's?" The shame tasted like bile. For 2 years, I buried it all. Until tonight. James tossed my phone onto the kitchen counter. The clack echoed. "Who?" he said, voice trembling. "Is ah?" The air thickened. Somewhere, Lily's cartoons giggled on TV.
"An old friend, Elite."
He picked up the phone, knuckles white. "You think I am stupid?" His laugh was jagged. "I have known for months." My heart stopped. "Months?" Before I could speak, he slid a photo across the counter, Roberts and me, tangled in his driveway, dated 3 weeks prior. But that was impossible. I had ended it. Unless. James' finger jabbed at the photo, the edges crumpled under his grip. 3 weeks ago, Helen. 3 weeks. His voice cracked like dry timber. Outside, a storm lashed the Atlanta suburbs, thunder drowning out Lily's cartoons in the next room. I opened my mouth, but no lie came. The photo was real, Robert's driveway, his hands tangled in my hair, my head thrown back in a laugh I hadn't felt in years. But it was 2 summers old. Someone had doctored the date. Someone who knew. "James, this isn't." "Save it." He stormed out, tires screeching down the wet street. I slid to the floor, the cold tile biting my knees. That is when I remembered Kimberly. 2 years earlier. Kimberly was the first person I told about Roberts. We met at Lily's ballet recital, her son pirouetting beside mine. She wore her divorce like armor, all sharp eyeliner and louder laughter. "Men are crockpots," she would say, sipping Chardonnay on my porch. "Set M and forget M." When I confessed about Roberts, she didn't judge. She leaned in, her perfume, jasmine and envy, filling the space between us. "You deserve to feel alive, Helen." But Roberts grew possessive. He would show up unannounced, his texts blooming with demands. "Meet me." I began to pull away, and that's when Kimberly introduced Cole. "He is harmless," she said, waving a hand. "My ex-boyfriend. Just a distraction." Cole worked nights at the Rusty Anchor, a dive bar off I-85. He had Robert's confidence but none of his heat, a temporary fix. The first time we slept together, in the stale glow of his studio apartment, I cried. He didn't ask why. Kimberly became my alibi. "Girls' night," she would declare, winking as I slipped out to meet Cole. She knew every lie, every secret. Then, one October evening, she showed up at my door, her face flushed. "I need money." I laughed, stirring pasta for Lily. "For what? Another tattoo?" She stepped inside, her voice low. $5,000. Or I tell James about Roberts. And Cole. The wooden spoon clattered into the pot. "You're joking." She slid her phone toward me, a video of Cole and me in his truck, his fingers hooked in my belt loops. The timestamp glowed, 2 days prior. You followed me? I hissed. Security footage. She smiled. The bar's owner owes me a favor. I lunged, but she caught my wrist. Don't. You think James will believe you? The bored housewife banging the neighbor and a bartender? She tasked. Pay up, or he gets the video. And the photos. Present day. The memory dissolved as headlights flooded the kitchen. James' SUV pulled in, but I didn't move. My hands still smelled like garlic from that long-ago night, the night Kimberly's friendship curdled into poison. The front door slammed. James loomed in the doorway, his suit soaked from the rain. In his hand, a second photo. This one was new. Cole, shirtless, standing in my kitchen last week. But Cole had moved to Denver. I hadn't seen him in a year. James dropped the photo. Pack a bag. You have got until morning. As he walked away, my phone buzzed. A number I hadn't seen in 2 years. Kimberly, you didn't think I would let you quit the game that easily, did you? James' suitcase sat by the door like a tombstone. Rain lashed the windows as I scrambled after him, my socks slipping on the hardwood. It is not what you think. I pleaded, though the words felt hollow. He didn't turn around. For days, the house hummed with silence. James came home late, his briefcase clattering onto the counter like a gavel. He stopped kissing Lily goodnight. Stopped looking at me. I began digging. 3 nights after the photo. His office reeked of scotch and resentment. Moonlight bled through the blinds as I pried open his desk drawer. Beneath tax files and golf scorecards, I found it, a folder labeled Lily's swim lessons. Inside, photos. Roberts. Cole. Even one of Kimberly and me at the rusty anchor, her arms slung over my shoulder like a noose. But there were others, new ones. Me buying tampons at CVS. Me crying in my car after Lily's parent-teacher conference. A screenshot of my deleted texts app. At the bottom, a business card. Martin Voss, private investigator. The floor tilted. Kimberly answered on the first ring. Miss me? You're working with him, I hissed, pacing the pantry. You fed James those photos. She laughed, the sound like broken glass. You think I need James? Honey, he hired Voss a month ago. Tracked your phone, your emails. Even your Target runs. A month. While I had been folding laundry, he had been building a case. Why? My voice cracked. Because you broke him. She paused. But don't worry. I added my own flair to the file. That video of you and Cole in the bar's storage room? James hasn't seen it yet. But he will, unless you pay. I don't have $5,000. Then get creative. The line died. James came home at midnight. I cornered him in the garage, his tie loose, eyes bloodshot. We need to talk, I said, blocking his path. He stared past me. About what? The affairs? The lies? Or the fact that you're still taking $500 cash withdrawals every Friday? Ice flooded my veins. The blackmail payments. It's not. Save it for the judge. He brushed past me, his cologne, our cologne, now sour. The papers arrived on a Tuesday. I found them on the kitchen island next to Lily's half-eaten Pop-Tart. Dissolution of marriage. Full custody. Restraining order. Beneath them, a note in James' jagged scrawl. You thought you could bury the past. But dirt always rises. Ask Roberts. My phone buzzed. A news alert. Local real estate agent Roberts Carter under investigation for fraud. Attached, a screenshot of a text from my number to Roberts, sent that morning. I will testify against you. I never wrote it. The front door creaked open. James stood there, suitcase in hand, Lily clutching her unicorn backpack. Daddy says we're going on a trip, she chirped. James' smile was a knife. Say goodbye, Helen. The door clicked shut behind Lily, her unicorn backpack bouncing as James led her to his car. I pressed my palm against the window, my breath fogging the glass. Don't do this. I screamed, but he didn't flinch. The tail lights vanished into the rain, taking my daughter and the last shred of my life with them. 3 hours later, the locksmith came. James had changed the codes. I stood on the porch of our Georgian colonial, clutching a trash bag of clothes, watching strangers haul our furniture into a truck. His truck. Ma'am? The mover held up Lily's stuffed elephant. This was under the couch. I lunged for it, but he pulled back. Sorry. Client said everything goes. I slept in my Honda that night, parked outside Kimberly's condo. At dawn, she strutted out in a silk robe, yawning. I tackled her into a hedge. Where's Lily? I snarled, my knee pinning her chest. She laughed, mascara smudged. You think I know? James stopped needing me weeks ago. Her breath smelled like gin and spite. He wanted the video of you and Cole. I sold it for $10,000. Enough to finally ditch this town. I tightened my grip. You ruined me. No, honey. She smirked. You did that all by yourself. A neighbor shouted. I ran. The bank called at noon. Your joint accounts are frozen, the manager said. Mr. Carter also liquidated the college fund. Lily's fund. The one we had started when she was born. I vomited in a gas station bathroom. That's when the messages started. Unknown number, everyone knows you're a whore. A screenshot followed, a neighborhood Facebook group. There I was, pixelated and bare-shouldered in Robert's bed, the photo captioned, Helen Carter cheats while husband works. Comments exploded like shrapnel. Knew she was trash. Keep her away from the kids. I recognized the poster's profile. Martin Voss, private investigator. Jameis attack dog. The custody hearing was a slaughter. Jameis' lawyer played the video Kimberly sold him, me and Cole in the storage room of the Rusty Anchor, my laughter tinny through the security camera's audio. Do you deny, the judge asked, that you engaged in reckless behavior while responsible for your child? Lily's drawing fluttered from my pocket, a stick figure family, me scribbled out in black crayon. James got full custody. I drifted to Robert's house that night. For sale signs peppered his lawn. A police cruiser idled out front. He's gone, an officer said. Fled before the fraud charges hit. Left his kid with CPS. His kid. A boy, like Lily, caught in the crossfire. I pictured Robert's hands, the way they had once mapped my skin. Now they had signed a surrender. The motel bed smelled of bleach and regret. I scrolled through the Facebook group, the comments now speculating about my sex addiction. A knock came. A man stood there, late 30s, a smirk borrowed from Robert's. Saw your photo online, he said. Thought you might want company. I slammed the door. His laughter seeped through the cracks. When my phone buzzed, I almost ignored it. Unknown number. You should have answered the door. Attached was a photo, James at a rooftop bar, arms slung around a blonde in a crimson dress. His laugh lines crinkled. Hers deepened as she kissed his cheek. The timestamp read tonight. The caption, thanks for setting me free. The motel neon buzzed like a dying insect. I stared at the photo of James and the blonde, her crimson dress a slap of color in the grainy dark. Thanks for setting me free. I hurled my phone against the wall, but it refused to shatter, just like my marriage, just like me. 1 month later. Therapy smelled like peppermints and false hope. Dr. Ellis tilted her head, a practiced gesture. Why do you think you chose self-destruction, Helen? Because it felt like being held. I didn't say it. Instead, I traced the scar on my hip and lied. I was lonely. Loneliness was a luxury now. James had sold our house, frozen my accounts, and turned our friends into jurors. I worked nights at a laundromat, scrubbing strangers' stains, wondering if Lily's tiny socks still smelled like strawberry shampoo. Jameis' hollow victory. He showed up at the Piggly Wiggly on a Tuesday. The blonde, Sarah, clung to his arm, her laughter too loud for the cereal aisle. Lily trailed behind, clutching a box of Lucky Charms. Her eyes met mine. Mommy? James yanked her back. Don't. The word wasn't for her. It was for me. A warning. A curse. Sarah's smirk said the rest. You lost. But Jameis' grip on Lily's shoulder trembled. The letter. It arrived in a grease-stained envelope, slipped under the laundromat's door. Helen. They're watching you. Meet me at the old dock. Midnight. Bring $5,000. Robert's handwriting. Or a trap. I went anyway. The dock creaked underfoot, the Chattahoochee River swallowing the moon. A figure emerged, not Robert's. A woman, her face shadowed. He's dead, she said. They killed him. And you're next. Before I could speak, headlights speared the dark. Tires screeched. James found me on the bridge the next night. Lily's nightmares, he said, voice raw. She calls for you. Rain dripped down his jaw. I wanted to lick it, to bite it, to scream. Why her? I asked. The blonde. The replacement. He looked away. She's not you. The admission hung between us, fragile as our wedding vows. I am sorry, we said in unison. Neither forgave. The letter, part 2. Under my pillow now, stained with river mud. Helen. Robert stole more than money. He stole files. Proof James paid Voss to fake those photos. Meet me. I can give you your life back. Kimberly's perfume clung to the paper. Jasmine and lies. The story isn't over. Like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for the sequel, The Reckoning. To the viewers and listeners, if this story gripped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more twists, turns, and truths. Your support keeps the suspense alive. Click the bell icon. You won't want to miss what happens next.